Hey, and we're live. Welcome to In the House, in your house. We up in the house. You know who's up in the house with me? Larry. That's who. The horror cat dad. Welcome at the horror cat dad. Oh my, oh my goodness! Got the feedback. Never mind.
Oh wow,
I ask for feedback, but not that kind. How are you doing?
good man. How are you doing? It's a long
Good.
week.
Is it cold there? I see you. I see you rocking the cat burglar look. You didn't just get done robbing somebody's home, did you?
No. I
No.
am in
Okay.
my home. This is my home. No,
Oh, this is your okay.
no, actually, no. Actually, I got this snazzy new beanie over at Frightmare from the Full Moon booth, and it's extremely
Nice.
comfortable.
Nice. Speaking of full moon, did I see you with a crew on JT's horror discussion, discussing all the full moon features and the Charles Band stuff? And
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you and Pugwall 316. How did that discussion go?
Oh, it was great, man. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to see everybody show up and have their opinions on it, and everybody in the chat was having a good time with it and giving out their favorites and stuff like that. So it was really really cool. Yeah, I was getting picked on for my love of subspecies. I feel attacked because everybody didn't put subspecies at number one.
I got my guy. I'll protect my dude. Well, yeah, I knew that. I knew that's your jam. But speaking of you and your horror jams, pinned to the top of the chat is a link to vote for Horror YouTuber of the Month. Today is the last day to do so for May. The votes will be tallied tonight. Our friend, the Horror Cat Dad, is nominated, as well as friends of the show, the Trash Picture Show, Marty, as well as Matthew Binney, another awesome YouTuber friend. And I believe two other folks that I wasn't as familiar with, but there's a lot of folks for you to check out and vote for. I recommend you vote for Larry or the homie Marty or Matthew Binney, but make yourself happy and make sure you vote before the last day of voting. So the link to that is pinned to the top of the chat. So show some support for the homie. Speaking of support from the homies, Professor Macabro is here. A Maxitos production. Greetings and salutations, Professor.
Yeah, man,
Also,
he's just
Jeff is
he's
in
cranking them
the
out, man.
Professor is currently on a roll with Blind Furry 2 and oh boy, I can't even keep track of the Professor. Every now and then I look and it's like he's got another one out. I'm amazed at the way he can make these things.
I
Friggin'
tell you, man,
awesome.
somebody needs to. We need to get him a budget, or we need to some of these like lower budget studios. They got to give him some money or something, man, because I think he'll make some gold for sure.
For sure. Oh goodness, what was it? The Amityville Ninja, I believe
Yeah,
it was.
Ninja
Yeah,
Amityville.
Ninja Amityville. Yeah, he had the headband on the house. I was like, this guy, he has no limits to his imagination. But anyways, the professor's here and he's a genius, and we welcome him. Speaking of awesome people, Jeff in the house. Nice to see you, Mr. Bronson, sir. 101 Bronson Jeff from the Scandinavian countries, representing the Iceland or the snowy part of the world. Nice to see you, the Netherlands. Anthony Chabot is here. How are you doing, buddy? By the way, I had a great day in programming. 11 pages until 1997. So the memoir is coming along good. How are your memoirs coming along, Larry?
I haven't started yet.
So Anthony's way ahead of you and
Oh
me
yeah,
on the
definitely.
memoirs. All right. So good job, Anthony. You're beating the crap out of me and Larry at it. Got some hauls the last 2 days. Did you get anything
Oh,
good?
nice. That's cool.
Speaking of something good, Texas. Oh yeah, Russell the man is here. Russell's awesome. We fresh off hanging out with him and Sean and them watching Alien about a week ago, and
You did a great live stream recently too of one of my favorite films, American Psycho.
I was
Love
just
that
gonna
movie.
say, yeah, I was there checking out the American Psycho stream. He's always got good stuff going on. Him and Sean and Juno, they're always up to something awesome between their channels and whatnot. So welcome, Russell. Glad to see you here, buddy. Yo, Professor. Everybody's wishing Anthony well. Hey, Wilkie's here. Hey,
Hey,
Al.
Corey.
Well, Corey's always a good blessing. Whenever I see him pop up, it's good luck. It's like a sparrow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
other thing too. I was on. He was having a stream earlier, and I was in the chat, and I won a digital code for the Crow 4K. So thanks again, man, Corey.
nice.
Really appreciate it.
Congratulations.
I was like,
Okay.
oh man, it must be my lucky day.
Yeah, sweet. Well, congratulations to you, and thank you to Corey. That's awesome. Hello. Everybody's saying hello. Speaking of hello, Mr. Bones in the hoose. I was on Mr. Bones' channel this past week for the last probably, what is it, 5 weeks now? It's been, I think I've been,
Wow, really?
yeah, I've been once a week. I've been on Mr. Bones' channel filling in for Echo Cero on the Boneyard. This past week we watched Laid to Rest. Have you ever seen Laid to Rest?
No, I need to watch it. It's you said it was on Tubi, right? I remember y'all saying.
Yeah, Tubi. It's a wild
Yes.
one. I enjoy it. It's a franchise I wasn't familiar with. Bones turned me onto it. It's there's two of them. There's a sequel as well,
Hmm.
Chrome Skull. Incredibly violent, lots of gory kills, but kind of ridiculous, fun gory kills. Like, it wasn't the kind you roll your eyes at, like, oh, that wouldn't kill somebody, but it's more like just absurd. At one
Mhm.
point, they put a can of fix a flat in a guy's ear and press the container button until his face blows off. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm
nice.
saying. Good kills. So, and it's a fun movie. We watched that with Mayanne and Lamonia Demonia. Speaking of Lamonia Demonia, she will be on tonight at 9 p.m., 1 hour after our show. She's going to have a watch along of Lisa Frankenstein, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So when you're done here, be sure to check out our friend Lamonia Demonia on YouTube.
I didn't
I'll
know it was
probably be.
already out for streaming anywhere.
I don't know. She's got it planned. You never can tell. Lamonia's pretty resourceful. She may just have a showing in her house. She might be live in the theater for all I know. Folks are saying hello to one another. Hobbs Horror is here. Welcome, Hobbs. Nice to see you, buddy. You got the cowboy hat on. Howdy. Nice. I like it. Bones even says howdy. And
How
howdy.
day.
Yeah, so folks are howdying. Howdy. Let's see here. You're lost in the boneyard. You're stuck. Yeah, I am trapped in the boneyard. It's like Gilligan's Island. It's the Hotel California. Once you check into the boneyard, you can never check out.
Check out.
Hate the fucking Eagles. Hate the fucking Eagles, man. Uh, Laid to Rest and its sequel are tons of fun. So we get an endorsement from Macabro saying that he indeed enjoyed the Laid to Rest film. So
Cool.
right now there's tentative
Check it out.
talks for us to watch part 2 next week on the Boneyard. So we'll see how all that goes. Owls and Cats, oh my, and Superman as well. Welcome, Kal-El Daily. Nice to see you, sir. As I mentioned, I had watched Laid to Rest so I could watch it with Mr. Bones. So I saw that twice this week. That was the only new thing I watched. Do you watch anything new?
The thing I saw new was getting in preparation for for a couple things for the interview with Ted Nicolau. I rewatched or I watched Terror Vision because I'd never seen it. Back when I met Ted at Texas Frightmare, he had asked me if I had seen it, and I was like, no, I haven't seen that one yet. So he was like, you haven't seen it, and I was like, oh man, here we go. I'm gonna mess up, you know. I'm gonna mess up the interview coming up, and so I watched it, and he was surprised that I had actually watched it when I mentioned it to him in the interview that me and JT Hardest
Well, yeah, I
Confession did.
saw
So.
you were with Pugwall, right? You and Pugwall watched or hung out and interviewed Ted Nicolau. Is that who it was?
No, that was a JT horror discussion.
Oh, JT Sword. Oh, that's right. Oh, goodness. See, my brain is fried. The damn Memorial Day weekend threw me off. So you and JT interviewed Ted Nicolau. That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
So that's on JT's channel. Good deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I was there in the chat. My brain's already fried. So shout out to you having a big week of subspecies on many levels.
Yeah, man, it was great. I mean, have you seen Terror Vision?
No, I haven't. Actually, wait
Nope.
a minute. Is that the one with the people in the house and they get the? I think I have seen Terror Vision. Actually, let me double check. Yes, I have seen Terror Vision. I stand corrected. I was confusing it with another film. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Terror Vision. Yeah, it's a nice goofy film. Something.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching it and it kind of reminded me. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Stay Tuned, with the with the TV being such a big it reminded me a little bit of that, but obviously it's totally different, and it came out way before Stay Tuned. But yeah, it was good. I mean, the creature effects were it was funny. Uncle Rico or OD, his name is OD. He was good in it. I mean, just the movie itself, it's just like a wacky movie, and it's good. So anybody in the chat, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out for sure. It's a good one.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Uh, as soon as I Googled it, the monster popped up. I was like, yep, that's what I was thinking. It was all right. So it's very memorable once you actually but I was confusing it with Stay Tuned because it is a similar plot. Professor says, yes, laid to rest 2, Chrome Boogaloo. Legal counsel is in the house. Jay Harang. Good evening, Jay. Nice to see you, buddy. Glad to have you here. Know we are legally covered. Speaking of covered, Jamie Hart. Yeah. Nice to see you. We're covered if Jamie's here. All right. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's happy to see Jamie. People love Jamie. Yeah, she makes it a party. Speaking of making it a party, who is here but the lovely Lamonia Demonia? Lamonia, we understand you're watching Lisa Frankenstein later. Is that correct? Is everybody going to be in Lamonia's house later on? We're going to jump house to house.
You're going to be in Demonia.
It's occurred to me. Jamie Hart says TerraVision rules. Nice to see you. Yeah, I agree. TerraVision is worth checking. Everybody's saying hello. Look at all these hellos going on. Don't feel bad, Don. It's been a hot minute since I've seen TerraVision. I always get confused with Stay Tuned or Bad Channels. That was the other one I was thinking. I was like, isn't there a horror movie that's similar to that too? Yeah, that's the one I was confusing it with. But yeah, TerraVision, I enjoyed it. It was I don't know how to describe it. It was a fun ride. You know what I mean? As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, oh, that's one I could see we're checking out. So, let's see here. Yes, Lisa Frankenstein is in the lair at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. So when we wrap up here, you get time to have a sandwich and something to drink and get over to Lamonia's. And yes, I saw TerraVision in the theater when it came out. I love if we have a movie, either Jamie Hart or Video Tasties has seen it in the theater, and that's what I love about our people. So yes, Jamie, good job.
We're covered. Somebody has seen it somewhere.
Urban legend. Yeah, exactly. We always got it. Well, Jamie, the running gag is that she sees everything in the theater. We think she might actually live in a cinema somewhere. So she's like the Phantom of the Opera of a theater.
Phantom of the cinema.
Kello says we miss Jamie doing lives, and we do miss Jamie doing lives. I believe she's working on getting back to them. She says, I miss doing them, and that's good. So, yeah, Jamie, if you're not familiar with her work, Jamie Hart is a really smart, well-informed YouTuber with a lot of strong opinions and a lot of good ideas, and it's fun to listen to. So I definitely recommend checking out Jamie's channel. How's the backlash of a week off from Texas Frightmare going for you? Still going through con withdrawals? Or are you over that now? Are you back to the regular swing of things? Or are you still just like, I need to go back to the con, baby?
I need my fix. No, it's funny you say that because there are memes of like there are actually memes of Tyrone Biggums of Texas Frightmare in the groups. People put like con withdrawals or whatever. But no,
For
yeah,
sure.
I mean, of course, I miss it, man. It's one of those things where like you're around you're around your people, and even though I'm a very private person and stuff like that, it's just like just being around I just seeing everybody and kind of just being in the element with the horror community. It's great, and meeting the celebrities and stuff, hearing their stories and stuff like that. So and definitely seeing all the cool stuff, but and not having to work, that's the other cool thing too. Just kind of like getting away from work. But no, yeah, I mean, it's like it's good. I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting back into the swing of things for work.
Yeah, the old 4-day week after Memorial Day that threw everybody off. I think we're all kind of still in the days of the long weekend before. Hobbs says thoughts on the Video Dead. I never saw the Video Dead. What about you?
I'm trying to think. It sounds familiar, but I feel like I don't think I've seen it. I recognize it's like what I mentioned in the stream our rankings for the full moon stuff. It's like the Pit and the Pendulum. I've seen the cover ages, but I had never seen it. So I remember it. I remember the Video Dead, the cover. I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it everywhere, but I don't think I've seen that film.
Hmm.
So if it's streaming anywhere, I'll definitely try to check it out. Yeah,
Currently on Tubi.
yeah, I
Currently on
remember that
Tubi.
cover, man. There's somebody coming out of the TV, like a zombie or something coming out of the TV. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
It's a great cover,
Uh, Yeah, I remember the cover immediately as soon as he said it, and I still don't know if I've seen it or not. I was trying to look for some stills to see if something would jar my memory, but um, a mysterious package arrives at the home of a reclusive writer, and it turns out to be a TV set, but it only features one program. So yeah, I don't know. That sounds good to me. I may have to check out the Video Dead, and that may be one of those where I watch for an hour and then I realize I've seen this before. I saw Stay Tuned and Bad Channels in the theater too. So Jamie Hart is just clicking them off. See what I mean? She's live on. We're gonna have live reports now from Jamie at the theater. Is she at the theater right now? Maybe. What are you seeing this second, Jamie?
It's like it's got the bucket list. Like, well, I've seen this all in theaters.
Let me see here. Tomorrow is Jamie's birthday. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was talk of Jamie maybe doing a live stream for her birthday. We'll have to see about that. I don't know. Hopefully she's feeling well enough too. But either way, congratulations and happy birthday tomorrow, Jamie.
Yeah, for sure.
People are saying happy birthday, girl, and many more. Happy birthday, Jamie. I hope you have a relaxing day. I agree. Hey, there's JT. I just wanted to hop in and say, hey, editing Ginger Snaps back to the beginning video. You were right, Larry. Did you have thoughts on Ginger Snaps back to the beginning?
I haven't seen that one. I wanted to see it too because it was going to be because I'm very big on like period films, So it's like it's that one. If I'm not mistaken, when I first was hearing about it before it came out, it was going to be back in like olden times. So
okay.
So I was like, cool. They're gonna do something like that. I was very interested, but I've never gotten a chance to see it.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's just complimenting on your defense of subspecies. Jamie's finally turning 21. Congrats, Jamie. We appreciate it. You don't party too hard, okay?
Able to buy beer legally now. Nice.
And welcome to JT for stopping by. We appreciate JT. As we mentioned, busy week for you popping on over there and talking Ted Nicolau and the Full Moon features over there. So good deal. Jay Tizzle, Larry, David Clip had me rolling. Let's see here. Since I'm in the future over here, I can already wish you a very happy birthday then, Jamie. Yes, Jeff's taking advantage of being a next day away. So congratulations on your birthday already in another country.
Man of the future.
The name. I kept confusing Unleashed with Back. Oh, okay, gotcha. All the Ginger Snaps are fire. Second one the best though. So I recently did a watch along of Ginger Snaps on my channel. I believe it was last week. But for the full moon, I needed to find something good, and going through the werewolf movies on the full moon, and Ginger Snaps one of my favorites. So I gave it a watch. I enjoy it.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
I saw it like late night. I think it was on like HBO or something, if I'm not mistaken. It was just one late night, and I was like, "What's this?" And then I got into it. And then the other thing too is it's got a great soundtrack. I mean, it's got Fear Factory on it. It's got some like Roadrunner bands on it. So that's what also caught my attention. I was like, "Oh wow, is this Fear Factory?" And so.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I haven't seen 2 or 3 of Ginger Snaps. I may have to watch those and do them as I watch along at some point. But the first one I enjoy a great deal. So folks are wishing Jamie a early happy birthday. Nice to see. Cal, spoiler, but I was shuffling through the prequel. Oh, okay. Nanette's here. She's lurking. She's in the side eye. Welcome, Nanette and Jack. Nice to see you. Let's see here. We'll do a Video Dead watch party soon on the midnight hour. It's part of a 2-pack with Terror Vision. Ooh, that would be a good one. A Terror Vision Video Dead watch along. A nice compare and contrast. Sad to hear. Tizzles. And I know 21. I wish. You're forever young, Jamie.
So you're not legal to buy alcohol then. Okay, got it.
Yeah, she's still waiting. She's still 19 or 20, so she's getting there. Eventually she'll be old enough. I adore the original, and I really enjoy too. So JT, stand up for part 1 and 2 of the Ginger Snaps. I'll have that same 2-pack, Hob. So there you go. It sounds like she's down for that watch along as well. Jamie loves all the Ginger Snaps movies. Yeah, they're fun. I don't know. After the watch along I did of it was one of my lesser watched watch alongs of it, and I was trying to determine what it was. So I asked some people, like, have you ever heard of Ginger Snaps? And your average civilian is not familiar with it. The horror community all is, knows it and understands what it's about and has opinions on it. But the average Joe walking the streets has never heard of Ginger Snaps. So I got a bunch of never heard of it's from people who aren't in the community.
The cookies?
So yeah, that's usually what they ask. Oh, I love a good ginger snap. Got a nice cinnamon to it. Jack is running back and forth, so that's what Jack do. Yeah, Jamie, they're really good, hard to find werewolf movies. Yeah, they struggle. Regarding things going on in the world of movies and news and whatnot, I think this week they kind of officially confirmed that Skarsgård is going to be in the new Welcome to Derry It TV show or whatever the series they're going to make. Any thoughts on that? Are you happy? Are you indifferent? Are you excited?
I'm just interested. I'm curious what they're like, how they're going to do it. Like, is it going to be him before, like, I guess before or becoming Pennywise? Like, how in the second one they kind of show him like in the carnival and, like, he almost looks like Danny Elfman.
Yeah. I was curious if it was going to be like a period piece type thing, back like a throwback old thing, or how much he would actually be in it. Is it more about just the spirit of evil, that goes with it? And, Pennywise is just part of that spirit of evil, or so. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. I'm interested they secured him. He works a lot. That dude's been a ton of stuff. He's
Even
got
bad stuff like The Crow 2024.
Yeah. Well, he's got that and that action movie both coming out. Plus, he's going to be in this show. I know he's all over the place. So apparently
plus Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah. There you go. See, that's what I mean. Skarsgård will be working. The professor says, who hasn't seen Ginger Snaps? The hype for Catherine Isabel during American Mary should have piqued interest on Ginger Snaps. People be weird. I agree with you, Professor. People be weird. I think Ginger Snaps, Kal-El and I were discussing this when it came out. We both were under the impression that it was a direct-to-video release. And apparently it did have theatrical, like a small amount or whatever, not enough to make very much money. But I always thought it was a direct-to-video, direct-to-streaming. Well, back then it was just direct-to-DVD or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think a lot of people know about it. I don't think compared to the biggies like The Howling and American Werewolf in London and some of those, it just sort of falls to the wayside.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it was a late night watch on. I just found it on HBO. Like it was just playing. Like I was already in it, or it was had already started. So I was like, "What's this?" And then, yeah. So for me, I had never heard of it until then. And then after that, I was like, "Wow, there's a sequel." And then once I started kind of like getting into it, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna make a third one, which is a prequel." And I never got to see that one. So
yeah. Well, I think it throws some people off because it's relatively cheap looking, but it's a well-made story or it's a really well-told story, and the acting is good in it. But yeah, some of the cinematography and stuff is a little substandard. I'm pretty good, Dom, but you didn't say like Jack like Bones. Yeah, nobody can do Jack like Bones. I'd imagine it would be a prior cycle. That's what I would hope of the Pennywise terrorizing Derry. That's what I would think. But I always kind of took it that Pennywise was a tool of the It monster, overall giant space turtle or whatever from the book thing. But yeah, I was happy to see that they were going to have it in there. As we know, he is ancient, like the turtle god. There you go, the big turtle god. Exactly. Everybody remembers the giant weird turtle. Nanette doesn't understand Ginger Snaps being popular either, or not being popular. I don't know. Maybe we'll lift it up. Ginger Snaps will have a resurgence thanks to us. 1 and 2 had theatrical releases. The prequel was direct-to-video. Okay. Yeah, the amount of money they made in the theater was incredibly low, but I never remember them being in the theater. But they did have a box office, reports. So that means they must have been in the box office somewhere. Nate is here. Pat Master. Pat. All right, enough of that. Welcome, Nate. Yeah, we always love Nate's energy. Folks are welcome, and everybody. Happy early birthday, Jamie. Of course. And Lamonia's in on the song. She knows Pat. And he knows the horror cat dad. Nice to see. So folks are dropping by and saying hello. That's cool, Ammonia. It's a great Blu-ray 2-pack. I enjoyed the Video Dead. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to watch the Video Dead and jump in on that with you guys. Terror Vision, I might not need to watch again. We'll see. Lemonia Demonia. I went to Walmart wearing a Lemonia Demonia shirt. Look at that. He's out advertising. Val has summoned me. Cinephile Sanity TV. What's up, Sean? Nice to see you here, buddy. We were talking about you and your awesomeness earlier, so nice to have you here, buddy. Nice, Pat.
How's it going,
yeah. Let me see here. I found Ginger Snaps by accident. Halloween 2001. They played that in Cherry Falls on the same cable channel, USA, I think.
Wow.
I was preggers, and it was my first Halloween staying home. Oh, well, yeah, that's a bummer that you had to miss Halloween, but it's cool that you found something neat. One of the things I noticed in the movie is Ginger Snaps is, or at least the first one, is a Halloween movie. It takes place at Halloween. They go to like a Halloween dance and stuff. So I think it's probably a good one to revisit in October if you like werewolves in Halloween movies. That's a pretty good one. Hob says I enjoy Terror Vision a little better than the Video Dead. All right. Yeah, I enjoyed Terror Vision. As I recall, the cast was very likable. Juno is going to be streaming at 10 Eastern tonight. It's his first stream too. Oh no! Nice. Man, so we'll have to split streams. Lemonia will be on at 9. Juno will be on at 9. There's going to be so much jumping off tonight. It's a Friday night party here on YouTube.
Nice. That's cool, man.
Hobbs is thanking Pap for his donation. Our friend Hobbs is working on completing his GoFundMe right now. Our friend Hobbs is going through some medical stuff, so he's trying to raise some money to make sure that he can afford his bills and everything while he gets taken care of. So we thank you, Nate, for donating to that, and thank to all who have donated. Perhaps maybe somebody could get me that link. I used to have it handy, but I don't at the moment. But yeah, if you would like to donate to Hobbs Horror's funding to try to make sure he can get okay to get healed again and be around Hobson for us all the time, we'd appreciate that.
Let's see if I can bring it up.
Oh boy, I appreciate that, Larry. Hey, Sean Hobbs, good to see you, bro. How you feeling? Nice to see. 50-50. Pap says no problem. Well, we thank you, Pap. That's cool of you. Nevertheless, Nate, you're good people. You're always an awesome part of the community, and we know you'll be helping people out. That's really nice of you, man. That's another one that seems to go and talked about, Jamie. Cherry Falls. Yeah, we talked about that during during Ginger Snaps for a minute, and I don't think I've seen Cherry Falls. I may have to add that one to my list. Let me see. Cherry Falls. 1999 horror mystery. Brittany Murphy. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I do vaguely recall that.
I recognize the name, but I don't think I've seen it.
This focuses on a small Virginia town where a serial killer is targeting teenaged virgins. After being submitted to and rejected by the MPA numerous times, apparently must have had issues getting put out. The perpetrator has been targeting only virgins, both male and female. The death caused panic in much of the local high school population. Jay Moore, Michael Bean, Brittany Murphy. Directed by Jeffrey Wright. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's decent. Currently on AMC Plus. So I may have to check out Cherry Falls. You guys might have talked me into that one. Hobbs says Cherry Falls is legendary. So nice. There's the GoFundMe in the chat right now for Hobbs Horror. So I thank you, Larry, for putting that up there. So if you'd like to go make a donation to our friend Hobbs and help him reach his goal, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see here.
So is Cherry Falls like a slasher then? From that description?
Yeah, I don't know if you would. I don't know. Somebody in the chat can answer that more than me, I would think. I haven't seen it, but it's a serial killer movie. So I'm wondering if it's a slasher. It feels like it would be. If not, people, I don't know if it's a direct slasher, but at least teenagers are getting murdered. That's usually what I would call a slasher. Lamonia says we might have to cross the streams, though. I hear that's no bueno. That's what the Ghostbusters say. Didn't you send me a meme this week of all four Ghostbusters huddled together and then a picture of a urinal?
I did. It's a good one. It's a good one. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can actually bring it up. I'll have to like look for it. If I can find it, I'll definitely see if I can. If we can bring it up.
Jamie says that she totally agrees that it's a hidden gem and it's super fun. So I may have to check out Cherry Falls. If Professor and Jamie are both in on it, those are two good thumbs up. Be sure to let us know. Let us know in the chat or the comments if you've seen Cherry Falls before. JT said, "Good job, Larry. You beat him to it on the GoFundMe on that, a boy. Fast fingers." And Hobbs sends his thank you. That a boy. So you're doing the Lord's work here, Cat Dad. I'm glad you're taking it easy. I hope you're 100% present soon, Hobbs. Yeah, Hobbs is the dude. He's the son of a plumber. I recently watched Prophecy 2, and it was having a very young Brittany Murphy in it that plays a suicidal character. The movie is forgettable. I don't think I ever saw any of the prophecies beyond the first one. I enjoyed it. How many did they end up making of that? Jeez.
And that's the thing. Ginger Ninja, he did a prophecy, his Franchise Fridays. He was doing all of the prophecies. I think there was four, maybe five. I want to say there was
Ginger's
4.
Here.
Let's see if I can look it up real quick.
Oh, I'm racing you to it. Prophecy movies. There are 5.
Okay.
The Prophecy, Prophecy 2, Prophecy 3, The Ascent, the Prophecy Uprising, and then the Prophecy Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
So after part 3, they went to the Transformers model where they dropped the number of the sequel and they just went to a colon. So they went to Prophecy colon Uprising, Prophecy colon Forsaken.
And I think the first 3 are just are the only ones with Christopher Walken, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's what it appears. They got his face prominently on the cover of 1, 2, and 3, but not so much on 4 and 5. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably the case there. Interesting. The Prophecy Collection available on Amazon for $14.33. Is it?
Nice.
Yeah, $14.33 for all 5 films on Amazon. So if you're a big fan of the Prophecy, there you go.
And then it's got Viggo Mortensen, Elias Koteas, Eric Stoltz. I mean, it's got some good names in there aside from Walken, obviously.
Yeah, Walken was the main thing I remember. When you say Prophecy, Walken is what comes to mind. That's probably why I hadn't seen anything past 1. Sean's saying no need to see 2, but I don't know. The Ginger Ninja, check out Ginger Ninja's review and figure out what he thinks of the whole franchise. Jamie Hart donated on day 1. I know me and Larry have also been active in there, and so be sure to check out Hobbs Horror and help our guy there. Hobbs says he would call Cherry Falls a slasher, so it's really good.
Okay.
Let's see here. Love that movie, Sean. Oh, The Prophecy, I'm assuming. Prophecy 2. Cherry Falls is definitely worth watching. So Legal Counsel is also secondary. So it's been notarized. So thank you, Jay. It's a stamp of approval. Nanette also says it's Cherry Falls is a good one. So a lot of folks say that there's a good one. So
cool.
Now we got discrepancy in the chat. Jamie says there's 3 prophecy movies. Nanette says there's 4. Google says there's 5. Sean says there's 5. These are out of sync. There's 5 prophecy movies, but the first one is the only one that really matters. Yeah, the first one's the only one I remember. Like I said, they went to that colon thing, so they dropped the numbers. So that may make it difficult.
See, what's interesting. Sorry, man. But what's interesting is I was looking it up. And it's like Uprising and Forsaken both came out in the same year.
That's
4 and 5
you see that frequently. Yeah, you see that frequently. They must shoot shoot them back to back. They got the same sets and they got the same actors and everything. So especially if it's a story that connects, go ahead and hook it up. Let's see here. Lamonia, have you seen Cherry Falls? Yeah, Lamonia, have you seen Cherry Falls? Hi, Ron and Larry. Oh, thank you. How's it going today, everyone in the chat? Fear of the Night. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Viggo as the devil is terrifying. Oh, I didn't realize Viggo was in it. There you go. Vita Morgan plays an amazing Lucifer in the first one. I didn't realize that's who the devil was in that one. Nice. Mm-hmm. She hasn't seen Cherry Falls. Well, you may have to check it out. Hobbs says you would dig it, Lay. Folks are welcome here the night. Nice to see you guys. I'll definitely check it out. Russell is here. Nice to have you here, Russell. Into hizzy. Russell's always along with me for the ride on my late night chats. He's a night owl. Little one says, "What's up, Chuck?" Honestly, I can't remember if I've seen Cherry Falls. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up. That one's a new one to me, I think. Russell says it was fun. So yeah, there you go. Nice. This week, the past week in the theaters, the big news was the release of Furiosa at the box office, and it's been getting a lot of discussion. It's sort of flopped money wise, but it did well with the critics, and then the average fan at large that I've talked to has said it's a 7 out of 10, or at least an above average movie. Do you have any thoughts on Furiosa? Have you heard anything regarding it?
Again, like you said, I mean, I've heard it's from several places. It's a 7 out of 5. So to me, I'm like, wow, that's pretty solid. I mean, the fact that it's not doing really well in the theater, I'm kind of, it's weird to see those kind of numbers and then people not going to go watch it. I mean, maybe it's just not their cup of tea. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just not what they're looking for right now, a post-apocalyptic film, But I mean, Garfield came out last week too, and Furiosa beat Garfield. So
yeah, it was a relatively weak week, week at the box office. There was Garfield and it both came out, and usually Memorial Day weekend is like a big moneymaker. It's kind of the kickoff to the summer movies. Furiosa currently is standing at a total worldwide box office of 71.5 million. 38.9 of it, so roughly 39 million domestic and 32.5 international. So it's going neck and neck pretty much worldwide and domestic, or international and domestic, I should say. But overall, the critics, let's see what the current ratings on IMDb and everything are here. It is a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, so that's exceptionally good. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is also exceptionally good. The audience, both audience and critics, give it a 90%. So it's doing really well as far as the critics and as far as all that goes. It's just not really raking in the dough. I thought Fury Road made got a lot of interest when it was on home, or like when it came to the home market. People didn't always go to the theater for it because they were like I was. It wasn't interested in a reboot of Mad Max with no Mel Gibson and all that stuff. 30 years in between the last one and everything. But I don't know. I personally, the thing that turned me off is it looked very digital in a lot of the trailers. Like it didn't look practical the way Mad Max movies look. Like you almost get a feeling like somebody died making a Mad Max movie every time. They're just so insane, the stunts and stuff,
Yeah.
So this one felt green screeny, but people are loving it. So
my thing is like, so even like for the original, not the original, but the last one, Fury Road. Even I was kind of like, oh, okay, they're making another one. It's Tom Hardy. I feel like at that point, Tom Hardy was already, he was already starting to get up there. Because you had Dark Knight Rises and then some other films that he was really good in. So for me, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll check it out. And then, funny story, it was actually, I was gonna go on a first date with somebody to the movies, but it was so late in the early evening that it was like, well, what's gonna start right now? Fury Road was the only thing that was going to start at that moment. So we went to go see Fury Road, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I ended up, I think I went to a con. Yeah, I went to a con with my buddy Joe, and we went for the morning, and then like we got out, and I was like, well, you want to go see a movie? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, have you seen Fury Road? I was like, yeah, I've seen it, but I'd watch it again. It's really good. So I saw it twice in the theater. And it was funny too, because in that showing, I guess when the part where all the mothers, at the beginning, the ladies they're pumping the milk,
the milkmaids,
the milkmaids. Some older lady that was in like a row ahead of me got up and left and never came back.
Like enough of this. Yeah, you're like, this is my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I recently had watched. I did a live stream of the Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, and Fury Road, and just kind of reviewing things, getting refreshed, and remind myself of how much I enjoy the films. Trying to decide if I wanted to venture to the box office to see Furiosa or not. And uh, one of the things that jumped out at me with Fury Road is what a basic movie it is. Like pretty much anyone can enjoy it. It's a very high intensity car chase type movie with lots of explosions and action and stuff. But it's also very simple. Like you can follow what's going
Mhm.
on. And if you watch it a second, a third, a fourth, you can appreciate the world building, all the little minutia and the details of Immortan Joe and how his world works, and the
Mhm.
whole. I don't know. So it's how much you want to invest in the movie is how much you can get out of it, and that's a really well made film. George Miller's a master director.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too with that film. It did a great job of like, so like the certain areas, like when they're driving through the wastelands, and it's like super dark, and you see those guys on the stilts in the swamps,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like, wow, man, this is really like, well, to me, I mean, I guess given my nature, I love the look of it. I love that dark, kind of almost like, I mean, it's almost horror.
Hmm.
It's almost something
Yeah.
out of a horror movie. And then later on, you find out they say like, "Oh, where's the garden place, or where's the I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now." And I was like, "Oh, you passed it," and it was that wasteland,
Hmm.
And I
The
was like,
Blue
"Wow,
Wasteland.
that's crazy, man! That it used to be like."
Yeah.
So
The post-apocalyptic destruction of the world. Even the Garden of Eden type place has been destroyed. Have you
and
ever seen the? Did you ever see the black and chrome edition version of it? The black and white version?
no, but I do have it.
Oh,
I do have it on physical media. Like,
nice.
I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
The other one,
Let,
the other thing I was gonna say is like, I just love how he says like, he just like, go back, go back the other
hmm.
way. Like it's like a simple like, let's just go back the other way.
Yeah, when I was talking about the movie, I kept saying oversimplifying it. If you want to just basically look at what the movie is, it's like, well, they drive this way, and then they turn around, and they drive this
Mhm.
way, and that's really all you need to make a story. And then if you really want to dig into the world and appreciate more of it and how much more it goes, you can. But otherwise, it's just a really good, well-made, action-packed car chase movie with lots of cool characters and awesome visuals.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, well, now they're talking about Viggo Mortensen replacing Malcolm McDowell for the Lucifer character in The Prophecy because he was too busy chasing Star Trek spaceships. Oh, yeah, that's Malcolm was doing that. How do we all feel about Mike Flanagan taking over the Exorcist IP? That's an interesting question. Yeah, I know that's been the discussion, especially after the flop of what was it, The Believers or whatever it was called.
Believers.
Yeah. Did you see Exorcist Believers?
No, man, I'm not gonna watch that. I had no interest as soon as I heard they were gonna make it. I'm like, nah. I mean, nah, I'm
your
not.
your utter disgust says it all. You're like, no, man, I'm not watching that.
It's like I'm not gonna watch that. It's like, I mean,
I,
you couldn't pay me to go see that. I mean, nah.
I you can trick me into a reboot. I watched the reboot of Pet Cemetery. I still haven't seen the reboot of Children of the Corn, but it's in my queue.
Hers is bad.
You know, is it bad? Yeah. So I always felt like I was going to get around to Exorcist Believers, but yeah, I don't know. When the reviews started coming in and people were saying all the bad things about it, I was like, it might be a late night watch some night. Part of one of three movies I watch some night, and it just sort of blends in. But yeah, I'll be interested to see Mike Flanagan taking over the Exorcist IP. Flanagan's been great with all the stuff he's done with King and all that stuff. So you would think that you would think he knows what he's doing.
I just hope if he does it, like, do his own thing. If he wants to connect it to the original, just this last one, Believer. I hope he's not. And if I remember correctly, too, like after that one, the next one they're gonna like go back. They're essentially redoing and ignoring this last one. I think they're taking it a different direction, if I'm not mistaken. I could have sworn I read that somewhere in an article a few months back, and so hopefully, if he does it, the only possession movie that I've seen any recently that did something different, at least in my opinion, was When Evil Lurks. So
Yeah,
if he can do something different, that's going to be like, wow, I've never seen that before. Then it'll be good, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. There are some projects, like I often say, when I hear that they're going to be made, I immediately think like I wouldn't do that, like. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be good. If somebody said, "Hey, do you want to direct a Barbie movie?" I'd be like, "No." But instead, it's like the most bajillion-dollar Academy Awards and all this stuff. So, same when they were like, "We're going to make a Lego movie." I was like, "Well, that sounds terrible." And the Lego movie was actually very good, So. The idea of directing another Exorcist or writing another Exorcist right away, it's like, I don't know if I'd want to be tasked with that job. But
Mhm.
I guess if you have an original take, it's. So hopefully it'll be something new and different or exciting or at least interesting and scary. Professor says Chris Pratt voicing Garfield. You bet your ass I missed that. Chris Pratt was what? Was he Mario too?
Yeah, he was Mario. He was in those Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, but that
He
makes
was
me
also
wonder.
Lego Movie. Speaking of Lego Movie, he was
There
the
you go.
main character in Lego Movie.
So that makes me wonder if Chris Pratt is making the smart move of trying to secure a lot of voiceover acting jobs, because that you don't have to, like if you're on screen and you start aging, people see you age, especially for an action star like he was trying to be for a minute, doing lots of, high intensity stuff. Eventually you're going to get too old for that. Well, Tom
Mm.
Cruise doesn't, but everybody else does. So, um, so you would think that, transitioning into voice acting is probably a good move for anybody. And now he's got, a couple big properties with the Mario and the Garfield and the Lego and all that.
Yeah, I think with him, I mean, and the Hollywood bug definitely hit him after the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Because if you remember the first one, he looks kind of schlubby, and then after that, like he just
Mm-hmm.
got jacked after that. And I'm sure he doesn't want to be jacked all the time, you know. So I
He
would
was
imagine
what?
that's another reason.
He was what, originally on like Community or one of those shows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Chevy Chase.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I know that he was kind of the breakout star from it. And then I know he had a thing where he was always kind of like, I don't know, like dumpy or, dad bod or whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. But then later on, he got super ripped with the abs and all that. Yeah. He, that's what I was saying about him not being able to maintain action hero status. You got a window of like look at Brendan Fraser. All right. At one
Mhm.
point, he was George of the Jungle and the dude had 15-pack abs, and now he's the whale, like it's, you just can't keep that body. Eventually you got to transition into something else. And if you want to have a career, voiceover acting is pretty smart.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have no interest in seeing Garfield with Chris Pratt. If I was going to watch a Garfield movie, I'd watch the Bill Murray one. Jack is back. Give me your best Jack, Larry.
Oh man.
All
Oh,
right,
I
now
thought
you
you meant Jack Nicholson. I was trying to think of a movie I
no,
wanted to talk
no,
about Jack Nicholson.
no. Where does he get all those wonderful toys?
Antoine got a little hot on the collar there.
Whoo, whoo, whoo. Where's Batman? He's at home washing his tights. Jack. And then it says there's no comment from Jack. Jack's not taking any comments at this time. He's no more press releases. Now Furiosa confuses me because everyone loved Fury Road and it has Thor and that chick with the weirdly placed looking eyes. I still am like, oh, for life on getting her name right. It's Anna Taylor Joy. Is that her
Yeah,
name?
Anna
I
Taylor
always
Joy.
want to call her Anna Joy Taylor because it feels like Joy is a middle name. I don't know. I never can say her name right, but
Well, it's like what it's like that other guy from Kick Ass. His name is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
oh, but at least Taylor Johnson sounds like a hyphenated last name. Taylor Joy doesn't sound right. Like I don't know. Joy throws me off because it sounds like a middle name.
But
I
it's like, you know what I mean though? It's almost like, like I think I was talking to somebody and I was like, what's her name? Aaron Taylor. And I was like, no, that's the guy from that's Quicksilver. I'm like, oh, that's right. That's friggin' Craven the Hunter. And it's the
well,
same. It's all the same.
the for actors, you have to, your name is like your trademark. So that's why there's no two actors with the same name unless there's some, Junior or whatever, or Michael B. Jordan or whatever. You have to do something to delineate yourself as a brand. So that's why who was it? Michael Keaton. I think his original name was Michael Douglas. He was born Michael Douglas and he changed it to Michael Keaton because there already was a Michael Douglas. So it makes me wonder, over 100 years or more of now making cinema, there's gonna have to start being some weird ass names because they're all getting used up. Bob Johnson's already been a guy, so now we have to do whatever, like. So I
John
imagine you're gonna
Smith.
get. Yeah, well, yeah, like if somebody comes along and they're born Rudolph Valentino, they're gonna have to think of a new name because that one's already on the books. Somebody has that one. Bad, bad choice by your parents to name you Humphrey Bogart, I guess. Russell says, "Hey, little Jack." Jamie says she'll give the Flanagan Exorcist a shot because she loves Doctor Sleep. Yeah, Flanagan, his stuff in particular, his adaptations of King. I think him and Darabont are probably the two masters. Most people would say Mick Garris, but Garris has some hits and misses. But Darabont and Flanagan are pretty damn good.
See, and for me, it might be a hot take, but the Doctor Sleep, I wasn't too impressed.
You didn't? How dare you? Did you watch the regular cut or the director's cut?
I don't remember.
Don't know.
I saw it once, and I was like, okay, I saw it once. I can say I've seen it, and that's it. I eventually maybe I'll go back and watch it. Maybe it's because I was tired. I don't know, but I did like what's her name, Ferguson. She was great in it.
Yeah,
that whole
sure.
part with the traveling like gypsies and stuff, or whatever, that was really cool. I would say that was probably I would say that was probably my favorite part of it. Those characters.
Yeah, I watched Doctor Sleep, the regular cut, and then as soon as it's done, how You May Also Like comes up at the end of a streaming. They recommended the director's cut, so I watched that one like right after to see because it was so fresh on my mind. I was like, I'll be able to tell what the difference is because I just saw the other version. The director's cut is more like told in chapters, so it's more like a book or whatever. It feels almost like how Tarantino's been doing his movies lately, where he styles them more after a novelization rather than traditional screenwriting format. So the pacing's a bit different, but I would recommend the director's cut for you to give it a second try. But otherwise, I personally enjoyed Dr. Sleep. I thought it was pretty good. Macabro's curious about that sequel now that Flanagan's attached and they got rid of the other crew. I don't think there's much more you can do with The Exorcist since Legion. I adore everything Flanagan has done, so if anyone can do it, it's him. Yeah, that's pretty much the same boat I'm in, JT. Don't care for new films. Just give us the good old days. Yeah, Russell's in the same boat. Me and Russell are in the same nostalgia boat. Somewhere around 2010, my brain checked out. Unless I get a bunch of people telling me, see this, then I don't. I'm like, whatever. Very rarely does a new movie catch my attention. But word of mouth is my favorite review these days. Like right now, I probably would have never gave thought to Cherry Falls, but now I've had 4 people be like, it's worth seeing. So now Cherry Falls is on my radar. That's the best way to do it for me nowadays.
But it is pre-2010 though.
Yeah, exactly. What is it, 2009 or something? So I don't have any excuses. I am Legion for We Are Many. Exactly, Russell. Damn straight.
Now, is he talking about Legion, the one with Kevin Durant? That one?
I was assuming he was talking about, right?
And Paul, what's his name? Vision from WandaVision or MC. Paul.
No, Bentley? I think he's talking about Exorcist 3. They made Exorcist 3 Legion. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, okay.
But then I'm trying to remember what was Exorcist, the prequels. What were they called? Dominion.
Oh, Dominion and
Exorcist the Beginning, I think it was called. Exorcist the Beginning.
I just remember the Dominion one.
Yeah, I remember the Dominion too. They were both the same exact film, but they were recut by different directors and everything. Yeah, they used the same footage and everything. Yeah.
And it was the Skarsgård, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Father Skarsgård.
Yeah, Daddy Skarsgård. They still make black and white films. Cool. Deceiver and the Planned Third one are dead. Okay, so the 2 sequels to The Exorcist are completely finished up. Flanagan would have nothing to do with Believer, and absolutely When Evil Lurks is excellent. Yeah, there's another one. I never would have saw When Evil Lurks, but Larry put me on it, and then I heard like 2 or 3 other people, and then My beloved Joe Bob Briggs said that he thought that When Evil Lurks was the best horror movie of that year. So I had to go check it out, and sure enough, it was a winner.
Oh yeah.
Then you just get over the idea of making a new Exorcist movie. It's an awful investment at this point. It's yeah, I agree. There's really not much to do, but the much like Jaws and other things that it would seem like a terrible idea to try to make one of, it's a name everybody knows. So if you say The Exorcist, there's nobody on earth who doesn't have a vague idea of what it's about. You know, it's like, well, it's that demonic possession movie with the girl throws up a pea soup or whatever. Same with Jaws. No one should ever remake Jaws, but if you say Jaws, people know what it's going to be. You don't have to condition them. You don't have to show them a trailer. They don't need to have it's a shark movie. Everybody knows Jaws is a shark movie.
Well, you never know. You could have one of those. Is the Bond villain?
Yeah, exactly. That one I've been waiting for him to do. Hey, the Bud Files is here. Welcome. Nice to see you. Sue is here. Yes, hello, Sue from the Bud Files. I recommend checking out the Bud Files channel. Lots of cool history stuff over there. She goes out on these missions. My mouth just totally quit working and I got possessed and you saw it. She goes out on missions and checks out cool local stuff in the area. Lots of always I watched 2 or 3 videos of her checking out neat, interesting places and her vlogs of them. So I recommend the Bud Files channel. And then it says Jack has left again. Folks are saying hello. I said no comment on my Flanagan to JD, not Jack Hitzela. Oh, okay. So yeah, everyone just okay. So Jack's happy, but she has no comment regarding Mike Flanagan. May you be halfway to heaven before the devil knows you're dead. Damn straight. Juno is here. Welcome, Juno 2000, the rant master in the house. Hey, Don, Larry, Sean, Jamie, and everyone. Welcome, Juno. Yeah, Juno's popped in a couple of my Mad Max streams. Juno's always got good stuff to contribute. Him and, as I pointed out before, him and Jeff, the old souls, young fellas with old minds. They know all the good stuff.
There is hope. There is hope.
There is hope. Exactly. Yeah. Juno and Jeff and Brody. We got the next generation of awesome film geniuses on the tap. Rose the Hat was a great villain. She was deadly and sexy, my kind of woman. Yeah, that was the thing with Rose the Hat. Everybody I know who's seen Dr. Sleep, that's the first thing they say is, boy, that lady was rather something else, wasn't she? I was like, yeah, quite the.
And yet somehow Professor doesn't like the Dune movies.
Well, yeah, she is in there, Professor, but she's she doesn't she's not evil enough in those, I guess, probably. Russell says, hello, Juno the film kid. Yeah, Juno's the prodigy. New Exorcist film I was already done after Believers. It wasn't a piece of shit movie, but it was mediocre at best, and they just need to leave the franchise to dead. Yeah, that's the thing. I think they just know that there's money on the table, and any chance these soulless bastards can do for a cash grab, we're all just keep saying a new Exorcist or Exorcist movie, and we all know it's like, well, what does that mean? Are they going back to Pazuzu, or is it more kids in a possessed with like priests or what? You can go any direction with it, but
so why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do a story and just do a totally different story? They can put it in somehow in the Exorcist universe. They just mention, hey, there's this case study, and then they just mention Reagan's story.
Yeah,
maybe show a newspaper clipping. That's it. Not try to it's like, oh, we need to bring back this person. We need to bring back this person. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, they want to try to do something to create threads to the other Exorcist films, and instead of just like a separate story that is in the same world as Pazuzu and all that. Mm-hmm. What about a physician heal thyself plot, where a priest stumbles onto like an evil tomb or whatever, and he gets possessed, but then in between moments of clarity of not being possessed, he has to exorcise himself. Like, wow. And then, see, that's what I'm saying. Let us know your thoughts for a possible Exorcist plot, because I have no idea what you could possibly do otherwise. That's the thing. It's such a tapped out, after The Heretic, especially, where they go and do like the whole like science stuff with I don't know.
Well, see, that's why I said with when Evil Lurks, it surprised me for it being a possession movie. Because it was something that wow, this is something I hadn't seen before in a possession movie. It was
Well,
just like I feel like a lot of possession movies kind of take the same tropes. Yeah, they tweak them a little bit, but this one had its own lore. It had its own, like it did its own thing with it being a possession movie. At least, to me, I don't know, but
well, I like the When Evil Lurks because it was almost I compared it to a zombie movie where the possession stuff can get to other people. It's not more of a like I guess Legion does that or Exorcist 3 does that to a certain extent, that where it's spreading. But Exorcist 3 is a good example of something you can do with an Exorcist movie. It doesn't necessarily have to be a by the book type deal, but you can still just get a lot of horror in there. Juno's very excited to do his first stream in a few hours. So coming up after this show, you can check out Juno or Limonia. Lots of awesome options coming on for later tonight.
check out both.
What do you got? What do you got going, Juno? What are you watching? Cool. I remember seeing the Paul Bettany movie and liking it until it came out of the theater. And I realized it was basically the Terminator story with angels. Yeah, I like Legion. That one has it's what they're in a diner or something like that, right? And like a roadside kind of
Yeah.
like dusty old thing, and then the demons are crawling on the walls and all that. I only saw it once, but I remember enjoying it a great deal.
If you want to
Lots of
look at it like this, it's basically like it's like Maximum Overdrive, but with like angels and demons.
there you go. Wasn't there a Resident Evil movie that was similar to that too? They were at some sort of roadside something or other, pulled over, and they were fighting the zombies. I don't know. The Resident Evil movies start to blur together. I might be thinking of Apocalypse.
Well, I stopped watching after 4. I started watching the 5th one. I just like, oh, it was trash. I never finished final chapter. I got like 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I can't watch this.
I had a friend of mine who's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, congratulations. You're the person who edits the trailers for the Resident Evil movies. Because it's like after a while, it's like, I need you to just learn. These aren't going to be good. Stop getting into them. But yeah, I don't know. I somehow enjoy them. I like Mia Jovovich. I'm a sucker.
It must have been the same person that did the trailer for Last Jedi, because I was really hyped after that Last Jedi trailer, and then here we are.
Yeah, and here we are, angry and mad all these years later. Movie was Dominion in beginning. Dominion was first made by Paul Schrader, and then it premiered at the Scream, and then directed by Rennie Harlan. Yeah, I remember that whole debacle. I own both of those primarily just because of the story Juno summarized there. Like, what a weird thing that was. They took the same film and let 2 different dudes put their spin on it. The same scenes and everything, the footage. I worry that my book won't come to life in a good way because the last book I loved and it's my favorite Stephen was a horrible movie. Which one? The Doctor Sleep or one of the other King books? Beginning bomb in theaters in 2004 and 2006. They put Dominion on straight to video. Okay, I didn't even remember the theatrical releases for those Exorcist movies. So Beginning was in the theaters, but Dominion was not.
Beginning.
Okay. Mr. Dan in Horror is here. Welcome, Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan's the man. I believe he was with you on your full moon watch along, right? Or the discussion. Yeah. So good collection of fellas over there with JT and was Pug with you guys that day?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So Matt Pugwall was there. So yeah, he had the complete crew. Hello, Dan. Hey, Dan. Where is the nacho bar? Eric is here. Welcome to Boys and the Scary Pops. Yeah, let's hook up that nachos. Everybody here, round of nachos for everyone, please. Folks are welcoming Eric and welcoming Dan. What are you watching? Friends don't care, don't need them, so why in the bollocks would I watch with them? Oh, Russell very upset with Ross and Rachel and them. Folks are welcoming Eric and Dan. Hope you're doing well. David Gordon Green left the 2 sequels after Believer's disastrous box office run, and now he's making Disney movies, which suit him much better. I didn't realize David Gordon Green was doing Disney movies now. Interesting. That's a weird transition.
He's still getting work. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't feel good today for some reason. I feel weak. Well, you get some rest, Nanette. I hope you and Jack are feeling better. Folks are welcoming Eric. I'll be right back. I need to cancel my stream. Did you have one planned for later as well, Nanette? Nanette, week time, but no big complaints. Are you just not feeling well enough to be doing that? That's good. It's going to be me, Sean, in Texas, hanging out, doing a Q&A stream, asking questions, and talk about what movies to watch in a watch party, and with some rant watch party on awful. Jason, it just ended. Yeah, so if you want to know what's going on basically it sounds like a version of this except on Juno's channel. So you guys are just gonna have a discussion, not watch anything in particular. But Juno the Rant Master, and anytime you get contributions by Russell and Sean, those two guys always have good opinions too. To this day, I still claim that Resident Evil Final Chapter has some of the worst editing in all my years of movie watching, and I freaking liked 1 through 6 and was a fan, but the final chapter soured me. I never saw the final chapter. I think I tapped out after 4 or 5. I don't know. What the 4 was the Apocalypse one, right?
No, 4 was Afterlife.
Afterlife. Okay. Which one was Apocalypse? 5?
The second one.
The second one? Oh, Jesus. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of then. Huh.
Yeah. So the weird thing for me is it was like, I liked 1. I think 1 is still the best one. When I saw 2, I was like, man, this is an action film. Great soundtrack though. 3 was really good. So for me, it'd be like 1, 3, and then I really liked 4, minus some continuity stuff. I really liked 4, and then I played Resident Evil 5, the video game, and I was like, oh, they basically just took everything from Resident Evil 5 and put it in Afterlife. And then yeah, Retribution, that was horrible, man. It's like watching a friggin' the lowest of the budgets of a sci-fi film. Like that's how bad the graphics were for that film. It was like horrible. Now is it up there with Double Dragon? Possibly, but no, I think honestly, I think it's worse than it's worse than Double Dragon, and it's hard for me to say because I hate Double Dragon so much, but yeah, it's definitely worse than Double Dragon.
Yeah, it appears I tapped out after Extinction, so that would have been 3, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where I tapped out. I remembered her in the sandy desert kind of stuff, and then so yeah, 3 is where I tapped out. I thought that was Apocalypse. There we go.
Well, it makes sense, right? Because it's like a wasteland. It makes sense.
Look at you enabling me. I appreciate it, Larry. What do you want to know, friends? Resident Evil Final Chapter. Agreed, Professor. Yo, how's it going, Ginger Ninja Jason? Hello, two boys. Folks are saying hello to each other. I'm still a fan. I'm not going to watch the last ones. I don't stop liking the other ones. I'm talking about Resident Evil, Professor Macabre, bro. I enjoyed the video games. The video games were so cool and innovative. It was the first time a game ever scared me. Like I remember games being tough and frustrating, but that was the first time just walking down a hallway, waiting for a jump scare, holding the controller was actually a thing. So I always have a soft spot for Resident Evil just because of that. I don't know. I don't remember how far I played into the games though.
I will say this for the Resident Evil films that Welcome to Raccoon City, that was really good compared to the Afterlife. So like Retribution and Final Chapter, I would even say it's better than Apocalypse. But so if I was to rank it, I'd probably rank 1, 3, and then Welcome to Raccoon City. My only issues with Welcome to Raccoon City is just I feel like there were miscast. You know, a lot of the characters were miscast, but it was really good. It had that Resident Evil feel. It's like if you're watching Resident Evil 2, the game Resident Evil 2. It was pretty good. Okay. I really liked it.
Have you seen any of the animated Resident Evil movies?
I saw the first 2. I think I have the first one. Yeah, I think I have the first one on physical media, and I saw the second one because I think it was on Crackle, if I'm not mistaken. So I've seen a couple. I haven't seen all of them though.
Yeah, in general, I don't usually watch the animated stuff that much, but there's so many out there. I think I watched the first Resident Evil, and I think I've had, isn't there like a Castlevania cartoon type deal that's out there? Yeah, I've had that one in my queue forever. Is it? Okay, so you've talked me into that one.
The series is really good. That first series, because they made another show, they made another series, because that first series is already over. So they created another series within the Castlevania world. I haven't finished that first season, but yeah, that first Castlevania series is amazing. It's really good, and they didn't pull any punches, man. It's good.
Okay, well, that's another word of mouther. Nanette said she was going to have a stream in what would have been 4 minutes from now, but she decided to cancel it. So she's not feeling well. So for those of you who are going to check out Nanette's stream, come here and hang out with her and keep her company here. Jason hopes Nanette feels better. Yeah, we do too. Jason also says Resident Evil 5 was Retribution and so bad. So there you go. Best scene that you have seen from Possession movie in your opinion? Oh boy, what do you think, Larry?
Man. Well, I mean, I have to go back to When Evil Lurks. I mean, there's so many good there's so many good scenes in that, man. Like I feel like they even that whole part. I'm sure everybody here seen it, but that whole part with the dog and the little
Mhm.
girl, like I was like, oh no. And then what I was thinking, it 10 times what beyond what I was thinking. I was like, holy crap, man, that's nuts.
Yeah, yeah. That part I remember like it was because it was the movie had been going on for a little bit, and when that happened, I remember kind of like settling in and watching it, and then I sort of like sat back up, like, what is
Hmm.
going on with this? Um, my favorite scene from a Possession movie. Well, obviously the classic Exorcist stuff with the Reagan telling dude his mother's sucks cocks in hell and all that stuff. Obviously, I think we all kind of love in Exorcist 3 the classic sheer cutters scene, the long one shot with the
Hmm.
nurse. Um, what was it? Taking of Deborah Logan or one of those where she's like swallows another person.
I don't
I
think I've
can't
seen that
remember.
one.
Um,
Oh wait. I don't think I've seen it, but I might have seen that scene. I think.
Mhm. That clip goes around. I think there might even be a GIF of it. Sometimes people show like just kind of a quick glimpse of it. Um, do you consider the Resident or the Evil Dead movies like possession movies? Because they're kind of
Mm,
in the same boat. People are normal and they get possessed by a demon and they become a deadite. And
yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I
yeah,
just, to me though, like, I mean, but I feel like Evil Dead is like, it's on a different spectrum, you
yeah,
know?
it's some sort of weird in between zombies, demons, everything. Like it's kind of a hodgepodge. But
Hmm.
yeah, as far as that, also, I'm trying to remember. Didn't the Exorcism of Emily Rose? Isn't there a scene where she's like convulsing and twisting up and
Hmm.
bending? That was kind of famous.
Contorting and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's tough. Let us know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite scene from a possession movie is, or what's your favorite demonic possession movie. I think Larry's favorite is When Evil Lurks. Um, yeah, mine's probably OG Exorcist or Exorcist 3. Um, Depending on, like if you want to get into the argument over whether demons or demons or any of those stuff are possession movies. When Evil Lurks is good. I recommend people checking that out. That's currently on Shudder. I was going to do a watch party for the Terminator. Ooh, the classic OG. That's a good
Wow.
one. That's a good one. Reschedule it then. Wait till you feel better and reschedule that one for a good one. Let everybody know about it so we can be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Jinja's Resident Evil rankings are 1, 3, 4, 6, 2, and 5. Hmm.
Hmm.
2 is rated that
Yeah.
low, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. He's like,
I mean,
yeah.
well, that's the thing. It's like it had potential because you're thinking like, oh, it's in Raccoon City. There, because really, Resident Evil 2 is like the best game
Mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm.
the whole series, at least from my circle of people that I know, and it's the most other than, I mean, obviously Resident Evil 4 because it reinvigorated the whole it reinvigorated the franchise. But no, that's pretty much my ranking too. It's 1, 3. If we're not including Raccoon City, it would be 4. Like I said, I part 4 loses points with me because I feel like it took a lot from the fifth game. Like it almost felt shot for shot in certain scenes. So that's what it. At first I was like, "Wow, this is really good," and then I played the game and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of ripping off that a little bit." You know.
Alrighty. Catch y'all later. Take it easy, Russell. We appreciate you hanging out, buddy. I haven't watched any past fourth one Resident Evil. I'm definitely missing a Juno. If it doesn't have Mila Jovovich, I don't want to see it. Let me see here. Rewatch later. So I appreciate you giving us a watch later, Russell. Don, did you like Welcome to Raccoon City, or did you bother watching? I don't remember Welcome to Raccoon City. Let me look it up.
I think it came out during 2020, 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So that might have
Yeah.
been why you might have missed it.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen the cover several times, and to be honest, I thought it was an animated one. Looking at it now, I realize it's live action. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty good, man.
yeah, I mean, I remember the first two or three games. So obviously, I remember Raccoon City and the Umbrella logo and all that jazz. But yeah, it came out in 2021, hour and 47 minutes. Interesting. Now, Bones, did you like it? Anybody else in the chat dig Raccoon City the way Larry does? Hunter Armstrong says hello from Kentucky. Welcome, Hunter. Nice to
Hey.
see you here. I believe this is second or third time Hunter's joined us. I recognize that Avi. Yeah, it was disappointing, and that's see you later, Russell. Hey, Max is here. Group hug in the shower. Welcome, Max. Max was here for me watching the Mad Max films on Max. So it was Max cubed when I had Max there.
Nice.
So Russell says his phone is dying. Rest in peace. All right. Well, hopefully it'll come back and revive itself like a zombie. I've never played Resident Evil. Yeah, I recommend them. That was about the time. That was about the time I started to phase out video games. I was at my peak gaming level when Resident Evil 1 and 2 was out. Those are the ones where you would get a game and you would just sit awake for like 3 days and just play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, after a while, you're like, I can't do that to myself anymore. It's like going to bars or something. I did thought the possession scene in Amityville 2, where Sonny is all alone and the demon follows him to possessed by squeezing his stomach. That scene is very serious. I don't remember Amityville 2. I for sure saw it, but that was a long time ago. I don't know.
What about the entity? Would you consider that possession, or is that just like
I always think of the entity as like a poltergeist type movie.
yeah?
Like
I was
a
gonna say that.
yeah. Um, Juno says he thinks the Evil Dead is more like Exorcist meets Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. It falls in between the weird line in between demonic possession and zombies. It falls somewhere in between there. It's a weird one. I think that's part of the charm of Evil Dead, is it carves out its own niche. Two Boys in a Scary Pot. I seen your message. I'm just trying to figure out what possession movie I think was the best possession. Yeah, there's a lot of them, especially if you go through some of the others that I'm not even including. Yeah, I don't know. That's a toughie. The ending aside, devil aside. Best ending ever. If you know, you know. There we go. The Last Exorcist was a pretty unique flick. I found footage movie where it seems like the case is super fake, then it gets intense at the end. So a shout out to The Last Exorcist with Macabro. I'm joking, by the way. I figured you were joking, Jason. With the if you know, you know. I always preferred Resident Evil 3 Nemesis game wise.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember 3. I for sure played the hell out of 1 and 2, and I don't remember. I think I probably dabbled in 3, but not the way I did with 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I
three is
appreciate that.
basically the three is basically like it's happening during two. I think it starts before two and it ends right after two. So it's happening at the same time as part two is happening. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while. I mean, my favorite is Code Veronica. That game is awesome. That one was for the Dreamcast originally.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I didn't really play it. I had one roommate that had a Dreamcast at one point, and he was stingy with it. He'd only let us play that what's it called, Seaman or whatever, that damn fish that came to
Oh,
life.
with Nimoy.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Resident Evil Netflix series? No, you didn't check it out, or you didn't dig
Trash.
it?
It's
Trash.
trash. No, man.
What do you?
That is basically like it. It is basically. It was basically like they had a show, and they were like, well, let's do something Resident Evil. Okay, start. Let's reshoot. Put names of Resident Evil characters. That's what it felt like to me. But it was trash.
Oh, yeah, they do that a lot with movies and stuff, like with Cloverfield or whatever. They'll have a script and they'll be like, "Hey, this could be a Cloverfield movie," and they just rewrite it to
Yeah.
make it a Cloverfield movie. Interesting. Yeah, I don't. Was that live action or was that animated?
It was live action.
Okay, wow, yeah.
I couldn't get past like I think it was episode 2 or 3 or something. Or no, I couldn't get past 4. I think I got all the way up to 4 and I couldn't. It's like I can't watch this.
Okay. It appears unraveling my own psychology around the time that Resident Evil started to dabble with animated and the Mila Jovovich live action stuff is around the time I started to get it all muddled and confused and quit paying attention. They overexposed themselves, much like me. I picked the Entity. The part where Barbara Hershey gets possessed was very freaky. Yeah. I've never seen a Jinja. Not the most traditional possession film, but Maximum Overdrive. Where the cars are possessed, and anytime anybody votes for Maximum Overdrive, me and Jinja Ninja are in on it.
Hey, me too, man. I love Maximum
You are
Overdrive.
too. Larry's into. All right, he's a Maximum Overdriver. I actually enjoyed Resident Evil movie as a big Michelle Rodriguez fan. What the first one? I'm
was good.
assuming. Yeah, the first one was interesting.
Well, somehow she comes back in Retribution.
Yeah, they bring her back with cloning or whatever. Never seen the show, Jason, but I heard it's awful. So we got 2 votes for awful. Resident Evil 3 game has the creepiest music soundtrack. So Juno's a vote for Resident Evil 3 game. Hunter Armstrong says the 70s, the Boogeyman is a surprise possession twist, kind of a unique possession movie. I barely remember the old school original Boogeyman. That one's been remade or readapted so many times. Didn't they even do it like within the last 5 years or so? Wasn't there a Stephen King Boogeyman?
They did it last year or the year before? No, I think it was like 2022, I think.
But then there was a Boogeyman that came out 2006-ish, 5-ish, something like that. There was one in there too. And then there was the old school from the 70s or the 80s, whatever it was. I remember that one too. The Boogeyman's just an over heavy duty property, but I don't remember the unique possession twist in it. What about Possession with Sam Neill? That a weird ass one I watched about a month or 2 ago. That one's got some crazy with her having the freak out in the subway station or whatever at the end. I could see that being kind of a popular possession scene. Yeah, once again, let us know your favorite possession stuff. Hot Garbage Ninja, hot, smelly, gooey garbage. So I'm assuming he's talking about the Resident Evil series as well. And we are all in agreement. So everyone agrees that the Resident Evil Netflix show is to be avoided. So there's your word of mouth too. So that goes both ways. It tells you stuff to see and stuff to avoid.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. That's how most of the Hellraiser films are. They always started out as something else and ended up as a Hellraiser film. Okay, so yeah, that would make sense. You get a good scary story and you read it and you're like, we could add Pinhead and the Cenobites in here and make 1 or 2 changes, and next thing you know, it's a. I think you could probably even do that with The Exorcist as an IP. Just find a really good scary story and then write in Pazuzu and the priests and stuff or whatever.
That's what I'm hoping they do with like the next Evil Dead film. Like I hope they don't have the girl and the niece. Like I hope they don't continue their story. I hope it's the same demon that ended off at the end. I hope it follows that, because that's still going on, and it's just like a different group of people. That's what I'm hoping. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of what that was kind of my opinion. It was after the Evil Dead Rise too, that if it became sort of a traveling road show of Deadite possession, somebody's got the Necronomicon in their trunk and then they get in a car accident and the people at the morgue find it, or the cops find it in their forensic stuff, and they all get possessed, and you got a possessed police station, like I'd be down for that. Let's see here. It took me a while because she's a big fan of the possession films. Yeah, they're always spooky and weird. They got the good creepy eeriness. And then anytime there's like Catholicism lore, it feels like it's based in history. Like this is some real stuff right here, as where Evil Dead is a property that's made up, the stuff about possession feels like it's, dabbling in realism. Wasted casting in Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 6 was the worst game in the game series. Yeah, I tapped out by then. I'm after my second job, unfortunately, but have a great night and weekend, everyone. Best is in the house. Oh, I appreciate you, Eric. Nice to have you, buddy. Eric, he sent me some awesome artwork. I need to post it to my channel, actually, in the community tab. He'd made a Night Owl Movie Talk logo for me, and it's got Batman and Yoda, and like all the characters I like are kind of in the background and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
So
Cool,
yeah,
man.
I don't know if he's got mad art skills or he dragged AI into it or what, but it turned out pretty dope. So I may have to put that on my my community tab and let people check that out. Pretty cool. Have a good day or night, Scary Pops. Speaking of Evil Dead, does anybody like the TV show? Oh, the Ash versus Evil Dead. Yeah, very good.
That was good. Really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was one of the ones I was in between on. If you say there's going to be a Resident Evil TV show, I'm like, but then you hear Raimi and Bruce Campbell and everybody's involved, and it's like, all right, I'm back on board.
Hmm.
So, Assault on Precinct 13 meets Evil Dead. I'd be down for that type of movie. Yeah, I mean, a whole possessed police station, or even like the prisoners or something. But then even the next one, maybe they're in a hospital and everybody in the hospital gets possessed or whatever. Just have the the infection travel around, kind of like when evil lurks.
Well, we kind of got that with Ghosts of Mars, right?
Well, yeah, I suppose with a Assault on Precinct 13 meets Evil Dead. As I recall, isn't Jinja a fan of Ghosts of Mars? Maybe that's what it is. There probably might continue two couple and possessed sister in the beginning of Evil Dead Rise, and the next one where maybe their friends arrived and are stalked and killed by a girl possessed. Yeah, I feel like that cabin at the end of Evil Dead Rise is going to probably play into the next one, I would think.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, especially like because they could also be, the next people that rented that cabin. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah, like
like,
an
they find a girl
Airbnb.
and yeah, exactly. And they find a girl, she's like kind of like messed up, and they're like, oh, what happened to this girl? And they start weird things start happening, and then you know
Yeah, I think
shenanigans ensue.
that's if you're not going to do like a Army of Darkness type, continuation plot, but instead like you do, new people stumble onto the Necronomicon and they're totally clueless and have to figure it out from the beginning. I think that's a good way to handle it. And then it says it's the favorite of the Evil Dead franchise. Ghost of Mars rocks. It's so cheesy. I recall Jason liked it. Possessed by the Martian air. That'll do it for you. It's about those poop potatoes that Matt Damon planted. Did you ever see The Martian with Matt Damon?
Mm-mm.
No, it's about an astronaut who gets stranded on Mars and he saves himself by growing potatoes in poop.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen like it's Ridley Scott. I did want to see it when I first heard about it, but I was like, eh.
yeah, it's it reminded me a lot of like Apollo 13 or something like that. Sort of
Mm.
the struggling astronauts and mission controls inability to save them, kind of thing. I wish they'd make more horror movies in prison setting, like they did with Rennie Harlin's film Prison with Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, prison's a great place for a horror movie because most people right away are uncomfortable in there. Like even like what's it called, Shocker, and some of those like they're not good movies, but the prison setting, yeah, exactly. The prison movies, like the just being locked up, like even something in Alcatraz. If you told me like the ghosts of Alcatraz and people were in there, fighting monsters, it's just rusty old gates and dripping water, from old pipes and old tunnels and stuff. I think anything that takes place in a mental home, which feels like a prison,
Well,
that
Nefarious was
environment.
pretty good.
I still haven't seen it. It's in my queue. Everybody who's seen it says they like it a lot, so I need to check out that. That's a possession flick, right?
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So I need to be on that one. I've never seen that one, but I want to. The one with Viggo Mortensen. Let me see. What you talking about? Shocker is a great movie. So Jason's always standing up for the schlock. That's what I like about it. Speaking of horror movies, so we got about a half hour left here. Maybe we can breeze through. I went through and looked up the coming off a discussion we had a couple weeks ago with when Mayanne was guest hosting and you were at the Frightmare. We talked about the 25 worst horror movies of all time. So to go the other way, I looked up the 25 best, highest grossing horror movies of all time. And I actually found them relatively interesting. Number 25 was Annabelle. So I was surprised Annabelle was in the top 25 highest grossing of all times. It seems like it's a middling, but it's
Oh, top grossing. Okay.
top grossing. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So these are by worldwide box office numbers. So
Okay.
the 25th highest grossing horror movie of all time was Annabelle, 258 million. Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2018, 260 million.
2018.
Yeah, 2018. Oh, so that would be the new one, right? The not Rob Zombie, but the
The Gordon Green
The,
one.
yeah, Gordon Green. Thank you. That Halloween, not that one. So yeah, thanks for saving me on that. I was thinking it was zombies. You're right. 2018 would have been the Gordon Green.
I love that
Uh,
movie.
Mayanne's favorite, The Nun 2, was number 23 with 270 million.
I
So
believe
that's
it.
pretty, yeah, that's pretty decent. Silence of the Lambs at 22 with 273 million.
Wow.
That one's an arguable because do you consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie or not?
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
I'm more of a thriller, I guess.
I consider it horror, but it's
Crime.
on the fence. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think
Yeah.
it's a serial killer thriller. So that one's questionable. Speaking of questionable, Scary Movie at 21. Yeah, to me that just seems like that's getting a ride off of Scream's coattails. Um, Split in 2017 with
That was
279
good.
million.
That
Yeah,
was good.
Split was good. The outside of the top 25 was a lot of M Night Shyamalan, The Village, and other things. So, um, A Quiet Place Part Two it was 18. Number 17, Resident Evil Afterlife, 300 million. So that
Wow.
explains why they keep making all these damn Resident Evil movies, is because that one in particular made a ton of money. Oh boy, I see another Resident Evil coming up. Van Helsing was number 16 with 300 million. I don't know
Hmm.
if I'd consider Van Helsing horror. I'd consider it almost like action horror, if there's such a
Yeah.
thing. That's a Van Helsing is in the same boat, kind of. Well, would you consider that Legion, the one we were talking about earlier with Paul Bettany? Do you consider that horror or action horror? Or
Action horror. I mean, I don't really find it too
yeah,
scary.
that's how I was with Van Helsing. It's more like almost a fun family adventure.
Well,
15 was
it's almost like almost like an action fantasy adventure, you know?
mhm. Yeah, fantasy for sure. It seems like a word that needs to be mixed in there. 15 was Annabelle Creation. So Annabelle is those Blumhouse movies, the spin-offs of The Conjuring, Annabelle and The Nun and all that. So those Conjuring movies, they spin off successful films. Number 14 was Resident Evil: The Final Chapter with 313 million. So
What?
once again, yeah, those Resident Evil movies, the reason they keep making them is because they just make so much money worldwide. So two of the top 25 of all time right there are already Resident Evil films. Uh, 13 was The Conjuring, and 12 is The Conjuring 2. So 12 and 13 are
Wow.
right there with Conjuring. So when you factor in those mixed with Annabelle and The Nun, those Conjuring movies are a juggernaut for money.
Yep.
And then, as I mentioned, A Quiet Place 2 was 18. A Quiet Place 1 is 11. So both
It's
of those
good.
movies are in the top 25. Yeah, Quiet Place is a big time moneymaker.
See, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it once it was already streaming. But when I saw
Yeah,
it, I was
me
like, wow,
too.
this is pretty good.
Yeah,
I was
that
actually
first one
surprised.
especially, I really dug. It was a different twist and it was fun and
Mhm.
interesting. I liked it. Um, Number 10. So we're into the top 10 of the highest grossing of all time. Hannibal. So there's another Silence of the Lambs. I think that was more, it came out at perfect timing. In 2001, people were really feeling, Silence of the Lambs had been on cable and VHS and stuff for
Mhm.
so long that it became a huge property. Lecter became a Halloween costume, all that. So the Hannibal itself was for sure a big moneymaker. Number 9, The Nun. So once again, more Conjuring stuff. Those
Mhm.
Conjuring movies, they make money, man, or the spin-offs and everything, the Conjuring world. Number 8, Prometheus. Um, I don't know if it's deserving to be that high, but I could see how with the interest of Alien and excitement for a new Alien movie and all that stuff. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, they definitely cashed in on like, oh, Ridley Scott's doing a prequel, and then it was not a prequel. So it's kind of like you know, they bamboozled people.
yeah, for sure.
To me, I love Prometheus, so I loved it. I thought it was good. I love the look of it. I mean, I don't give it the grief that everybody. I can see how, because at first I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a prequel. Like they kept saying it was going to be a prequel, and I was like, well,
Mhm.
when I finally started analyzing, well, it's not really a prequel. It's in the universe, and it's before the events of Alien, but it's not the same planet. and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it made more than 400 million at the box office. That's pretty damn good.
Hmm.
Um, Number seven, Signs. I remember Signs. That one
Wow.
capitalized. I don't know if I would call it horror. I mean, I guess it is. They're trapped in the farmhouse and all that stuff, but it doesn't feel horrific. It's more like a creeping, edgy kind of unsettling movie. It feels almost like a
Hmm.
ghost story, even though it's an alien story. But that was at the perfect time because The Sixth Sense had come out, and then Unbreakable was kind of a sleeper hit. So when Signs comes out, there's a lot of anticipation leading into that third one. Number six, The Exorcist from 1973. I'm assuming that's got to be with all the re-releases and
Yeah.
stuff because it's been re-released numerous times. So that's pretty good that The Exorcist is still in the top 10 after all these years with inflation and adjusted dollar values and all that stuff. So here we are in the top five highest grossing horror of all time. Number five is It Chapter 2. I think we all kind of knew that the It movies were big juggernauts at the theater.
Though it wasn't
Um,
as good as the first one.
Yeah. And we still haven't gotten to the first one, so there's four left. So you can imagine where it's going to be. The fourth was World War Z. I remember World War Z was a big deal, primarily because it's a literal world war. So I think it has a good worldwide audience. You know, you can show that movie in any country and people will follow it because it's Brad Pitt as a star that everybody knows, and you know,
Well,
it's
everybody liked the
built to
book.
make money. Yeah, and it came with the preconditioning of the book. There were a lot of people who wanted to see that. Number three, my least favorite, probably on this whole list, I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I would call it horror. That's also horror action. I feel like it kind of falls into the same thing. At no point was I like scared during I Am Legend, and I personally prefer Omega Man and Last Man on Earth probably more than I Am Legend.
Yeah, I like Last Man on Earth. It's really good. It's very early vibes of Night of the Living Dead for me.
Yeah, for sure. Number two was The Sixth Sense. And
Okay.
yeah, that was a juggernaut when it was out. People, they even re-released it after it had been out in the theater. They like did another marketing campaign push, like, you know, 2 months later or whatever, and got people to go. That's when I saw it was on the second go around. You know, people were, you won't believe the shocking ending. And I went in the theater and I knew that whole thing, like, you won't believe the shocking ending. And as I'm watching it, I kind of got engrossed in the film, and then the shocking ending happens. Like, I knew it was coming and I forgot about it. Damn it. And then number one was It. So in
Wow.
the top 10, both It movies were in there. Actually in the top five. So between the two, they made over $1 billion for It
Nice.
chapter 1 and 2. Getting back to why Skarsgård probably needed to be in that dairy show, because they knew, like, well, we got to try to do everything we can to make money.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, let me see here. I wish they made horror movies about asylums. Yeah, a good asylum horror movie is always scary and
Yeah,
unsettling. Well,
especially when it's like you don't know if it's like possession or you don't know if it's like getting all in your head and stuff. Yeah, that could be a really untapped
well,
resource.
movies like Grave Encounters. That's a good creepy movie because they're in the asylum. Exorcist 3. You know, they're in the asylum. You know, there's something about being locked up inside. Even why am I drawing a blank on the name of it? In the Mouth of Madness. That starts and ends with Sam Neill in the asylum, and that just sort of sets the tone for the film.
Mhm.
You know. Speaking of mental home, just watched Hellhole thanks to Mikey's Morgue. Oh wow, so much nudity. I've never seen Hellhole. Have you?
I have not. Doesn't sound familiar, but I mean, it coming from Mikey, I can see a lot of
Yeah,
nudity.
Mikey knows the weird underground hits, and he knows the good ones with nudity. So
Yep,
yeah, Mikey's a good recommender. Nanette owns Shocker, and she loves it.
it's a classic, man.
That is. um, let's see here. Silence of the Lambs is definitely a horror movie. Yeah, let us know in the thoughts. Nanette votes for it being a horror movie. I'm on the fence. I personally think of it as a horror movie, but I have a lot of people tell me it is not. So I did a watch along of it on my channel, and that was part of the discussion for the 2 hours. Is this a horror? Isn't this a horror? You know, it feels like a police procedural, but it also feels like, you know, it's just as terrifying as any horror movie.
It's kind of like Caped Fear, you know.
Yeah, it's a horror movie, but or same with like Night of the Hunter or whatever. Yeah, they're a horror movie, but it's a very watered down, almost so close to real, it doesn't feel like a horror movie. It feels almost like a thriller. It's a dark comedy. I'm talking about Scary Movie. Yeah, I mean, it's got all the horror elements, and especially that first one is just a complete reworking of the script from Scream. They just went through and just took the screenplay. That's actually what happened is they took the screenplay from Scream and then just rewrote it and put jokes in every line. And then when they went to make it, Wes Craven heard about it and was like, I'm going to sue the shit out of you guys. Like, you're just taking my property and rewriting it. And they decided he was totally right. There was no way they were going to win in court. So they ended up giving Wes Craven an executive producer thing on Scream or on Scary Movie. So yeah, when you see his name at the front, it's simply because to avoid litigation. Echo's here. Welcome, Echo. Sorry, I didn't see you were live. Shout Factory on their YouTube channel is doing a Godzilla Kaiju marathon or Kijiji marathon. Nice. Yeah, Shout Factory on YouTube is actually I enjoy that channel. YouTube's got a bunch of really good constantly streaming channels. Like Shout Factory's always got stuff. There's a Mystery Science Theater channel. There's a Riff Tracks channel. Hasbro has a channel where they just show the old G.I. Joe cartoons streaming 24 hours a day.
That's right.
So I've watched a bunch of those. Sometimes I'll check the live tab to see if any of the homies are currently on stream, and it'll tell me like, "Hey, Mystery Science Theater, Sven Gooley, and G.I. Joe are all going." It's like, this is better than TV. Let's see here. I watched Legion last week. Did you like it? Van Helsing is very scary Dracula. She says it's horror. Okay. To me, it felt like it was similar to the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. Like, you could call those movies horror, but they also feel like almost an Indiana Jones type action adventure, you know?
Yeah.
Or at least the first two.
They also kind of remind me a little bit of the Underworld movies.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, they walk a fine line between being horror and action. I've never seen Split. Split's actually very good. That's another one, isn't that? Does that take place in an asylum? I think a couple of those do. Unbreakable does for sure, but
not Split. The other one does Glass, I think.
Glass. That's what I'm thinking of. Not Unbreakable. Yeah, Glass. Split takes place in like the boiler room area, like the underneath. Yeah,
and it has your girl,
solid movie
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anna Joy Taylor. She's hit or miss for me. Speaking of another asylum movie, she's in the New Mutants, and I didn't dig the New Mutants at all.
Really?
But then I dig. I didn't like. You like the New Mutants? Oh, it was absolutely terrible. But she's great in the Witch. The Witch. Ever since they did that double V for the W, to this day I'm still calling it the Vavitch. But she's hit or miss. She can be like awesome, great. Like oh god, what was the one, the Northman or whatever? She's really kind of underutilized in that, but then like she's great in Split, and like I don't know, she's hit or miss. She's either awesome. I still need to see the Queen's Gambit. That's where everybody says I'll fall in love with her if I watch that one. So
yeah, my wife likes that one. She says it's
good.
It
looks like a winner.
And then she's good in The Menu.
Oh, okay. And Annette's never seen Quiet Place 1 or 2. So I recommend both of those, especially 1. Part 2 feels a little bit a zombie movie-ish, but part 1 is for sure good. I put Van Helsing on the same tier as The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh, wow. I'm taking that's an insult? I personally didn't hate The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as much as everybody else, but I understand why folks didn't like it.
I mean, I don't hate it either, but I would say Van Helsing is a notch higher than that. You know,
give us your thoughts. Give us your thoughts, Professor. Is that a vote against Van Helsing then? I love Van Helsing. I actually got my mom to take me to see it in the theaters. Quiet Place 1 is good. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, the first one really. The second one, it felt like the Walking Dead TV show to me. Like they were on a way to a place to try to find safety from the monsters, and they end up on an island. And of course, what goes down goes down. But I love Hannibal. It's definitely more horror based than anything else in the Hannibal Lecter movies. It's got the whole thing with like the Gary Oldman? I think he plays the character who has like his face destroyed or whatever, and what's his name, Vernon, whatever. Barney from the first one is taking care of him. The Nun sucks. I haven't seen either of the Nuns. I saw Conjuring 2. I've been meaning to watch both Nuns. Mayanne really wants to watch The Nun 2 with me and you sometime. So at this point, yeah, me and you have to. Did somebody say nun? Oh, Echo loves nuns. She can get dick in it. Yes, nuns do suck. Wink, wink. Oh my goodness, you're going to hell for that. You're going to get possessed, Echo. I haven't seen The Nun. You've seen none of the nuns? LOL, Echo. I haven't seen Prometheus. Larry says to see it. So there you go. I actually enjoyed Prometheus. I enjoyed Prometheus and Covenant. I mean, I didn't think Covenant was like world stopping, but it held my interest, and it was kind of a good, like, well acted movie and stuff.
It's better than The Predator or Iron Predator, what I like to call it. It's better than that.
Yeah, The Predator. Yeah, that one sucked. That was a bad movie. Echoes here. Are you seeing Hellhole or Hellhole? Hello. I like Signs. Me too. Signs.
Yeah, Signs was good.
Haven't heard of it, Ginger. So Echo hasn't seen Hellhole either. So Mikey and Ginger say check out Hellhole. Echo said that Chapter 1 is the highest grossing movie. That's the number one. Echo, It Chapter 1, and then Part 2 is the fifth. So the two of them together made $1 billion. Echo never said that. Her Majesty Queen Echo never said that. In case you're unaware, Echo is now the Queen of England. Mega Man is awesome. Yeah, Jason always knows the good classics. I've never seen World War Z. Don't like the CGI zombies like damn near everything else. I thought it was.
It was interesting. It's got some interesting parts in it, but the CGI zombies, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I liked where they piled on top of each other and climbed over the wall in Israel. Like, I thought that was awesome. But a lot of the zombies, the way they, they don't look right. It's the physics. I always complain about CGI people physics. They move watery or something. They don't look like they're weighted down by gravity the way things are supposed to.
Well, I also like when they're running through the city of Jerusalem, that confined like rule. That part was like really cool, really intense. I like that part. But again,
it's got like a running of the bulls in Pamplona feel to it or whatever, where there's nowhere to escape because of those tight streets and all that, I'm waiting for Last Echo and None on Earth. Oh, Echo and the Nun together on Earth. She can get it anytime she won't. And then if you're gonna like, he might. Oh my goodness, Echo getting ugly here. Oh man. The Dead Pit, a trashy '80s asylum horror movie. I don't think I saw the Dead Pit. Oh, I did see the Dead Pit. Oh, wait a minute, I might be thinking of The Pit. Wait a minute. That's the problem with these titles. The Dead Pit. No, I never saw this one. I did see The Pit. The Pit was filmed like an hour away from where I'm at. An arrival of an amnesiac patient in a psychiatric hospital somehow frees a mad doctor who was shot and entombed with his fiendish experiments in an abandoned wing of the asylum 20 years before. Yeah. Not currently streaming anywhere. Well, I don't know. Dead Pit sounds like a winner, though. He says it's on Tubi, or is the Omega Man on Tubi? Something's on Tubi. Did someone say the Asylum movies? Big fan of that studio. They truly make cinematic gold. Some might claim it's fool's gold, but nonetheless, baby. Professor loves him some bad Asylum rock knockoffs. The Transmorphers and Snakes on a Train.
Well, there you go. See, Asylum needs to, give Professor some money.
Professor's trailers now have a bigger budget than Asylum films. Like they would be like, we don't have that kind of money. He's like, $0? Like, yes. The Dead Pit is an okay movie. I liked it more the first time I saw it than I did when I saw it again 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the Dead Pit. I'll add it to my list. You guys got opinions on it. It's not a knock on either movie. Van Helsing and League are great fun action movies with horror themes, not just not horror movies. Okay, so he puts Van Helsing more in that kind of comic book graphic novel story, not so much traditional horror. The book for World War Z is better than the movie, but then again, Max Brooks, son of Mel Brooks, wrote it, so why wouldn't it be? Yeah, I know he was a close producer on the film and oversaw a lot of it, but I know he was often frustrated with some of the decisions they had to make in adapting it. The adaptation of a big book down to a screenplay, you obviously have to cut out a lot of stuff, so the things that you decide to leave out of an adaptation really affect the movie itself. Jason says Hellhole is on Tubi. All right. And if you know some loose nuns, they probably have a Hellhole too. Anyways, we are at 10 to 8 o'clock, so I think it's a good time for us to start to wrap her up. You got anything exciting coming up this week, Larry?
Uh, I didn't have a video drop today. It's been pretty busy around here, so I am working on it. So look out for that to come out. Hopefully, it'll be out tomorrow. If not, it'll be out Sunday. But that,
Okay.
and then in the house next week, obviously on my channel, and I'm hoping to get back to 2 videos next week.
Okay.
Hopefully,
Well,
everything will start coming down and stuff.
with trying to get back on schedule after Frightmare and then the 4-day week or the 4-day work week, and I know you've got stuff with trying to get stuff settled at home with family, being on traveling and all that. So you get a pass this week, buddy. But next week you better be back out. But yeah, next week we'll be on In the House. Yeah, right now that's my big plan for next week is I will be on Larry's channel for In the House. I also got a few watch-alongs planned for my channel. We just wrapped up 3 Mad Max movies and Fargo last night. I still have the often threatened Near Dark stream coming at some point. The thumbnail's made. We just got to be in the mood to watch a vampire movie together. But yeah, I plan on doing that. And also, I think you and I might have to get together. You and I are overdue to collab on watch along. So we'll have to keep track of your free time and see if me and you can get together and find something good. So
well,
get the band back together, brother.
Yeah, for sure. And then I did on I think it was on the American Psycho stream. I think I had said to Russell, we're gonna hit June, so supposedly Brain Scan should be back on Tubi. So I don't know if you remember.
Oh, okay, that's right. You were looking forward to that, yeah.
So we can all do that. You, me, Sean, Juno, Russell. So we just gotta see. We gotta see if, for one, if Tubi didn't lie to us.
Also, speaking up on stuff coming up for me, this today is my 97th live stream. Between the movies I've watched on my channel, Into House, and collaborations on other channels. Last night was Fargo was 96. This is 97. So we are counting down to the 100th live stream that I've done.
Wow.
So I'll probably have to do something fun and special for that. I think. I don't know what it's going to be. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a 100th anniversary or 100th episode live stream spectacular at some point. But keep your eye out for that as we are clipping towards it very quickly.
Nice.
Hard to believe I haven't even been doing this for a year. As I said, I am overexposed. But I see folks. Our friend Joseph came. He said, "Sorry, hello, sorry I'm late. It's welcome, Joseph. Glad you can be here." This Tuesday on the Boneyard, I will be back on Mr. Bones' channel, and most likely we'll be watching Laid to Rest 2, which has Danielle Harris, Joseph the Horror Guy's favorite. So be sure to drop by the Boneyard, Mr. Bones' channel. Also, our friend the professor says that we are on 17 episodes and still no cancellation in sight. Yes, thank you. Also, a Maxitos production. Great stream, guys. Have a great night or a good night, everyone. She's only wishing us good, not great. I'll tone it down. But when you leave here, coming up in an hour on Lamonia's channel, she'll be doing a stream for Lisa Frankenstein, and my friend Juno will be doing a hangout stream with him and Sean and Russell. So lots of good watching options for folks in the community later. Let's see here. I still want to keep doing YouTube's my dream. Don't have to delete it. I might think of doing my own gaming channel. Ooh, gaming channels are always fun, Joseph. Smash the like button. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. That's a good one. Ginger Ninja's down for Brain Scan. He knows what's up.
Hey, I mean,
folks are wishing us a good night.
The more the merrier, Jason. So we can work it all out, man. Maybe you can come on with us.
Right on. Jamie Hart says hello, and I give her another sloppy hand heart for her birthday tomorrow. Be sure to check out our friend Jamie's channel and wish her a happy birthday. She's always part of the crew. We love us some Jamie Purple Heart. Let's see here. Great stream, gentlemen. I will see you all on Lamonia Demonia stream. Lamonia Demonia. Tomorrow is Danielle Harris's birthday too. Wow, that's an interesting twist of events. Wow, it all became Danielle Harris centric at the end here. No one knew. Joseph Horror Guy did, and he's excited. And our friend Hunter Armstrong says, all right, I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. And it's Jamie's birthday too, exactly. So be sure to wish her a happy birthday. And I will wish all of you a happy, great spring season, everyone. Any final words or thoughts, Larry?
You beat me
He's too
to
thrown
it,
off by it. Yeah, that says everything, doesn't it? Have a great spring season. All right. Well, thank you for joining us all again, and everybody have a great weekend. All right. Thank you so much, and adios, amigos. There it is. Another episode in the can, buddy. Oh,
So
wow,
we're
I
still
got
alive.
the frozen